Hey guys, Jessie here from Jessie on a Journey, and today I am bringing you a video letting you know 12 awesome things to do in New York City that you won't find in your guidebook. Now, the tagline of Jessie on a Journey is taking you beyond the guidebook, and I'm always in search of cool things to do that go beyond the popular sites. I'm from New York. I'm actually a licensed sightseeing guide here, so I do know quite a bit about the city, and if you have any other questions or need recommendations or would like a guide, please feel free to email me. I'll leave my email below and my website. So the first place I am going to recommend is in my own neighborhood of Bushwick in Brooklyn. It is the Bushwick Collective. It is 10 plus blocks of murals. It was started by a guy named Joe Ficalora who grew up in Bushwick, and his father was actually killed in the 90s, and he wanted to turn this place that had so much despair to him into something inspiring. And the murals are always changing, and it's really fun to go and take pictures and pose in front of them. So something to check out. And you can take the L train to Jefferson Street. The next stop is in the Lower East Side, is the Prohibition Bakery. This place weaves together cupcakes and booze. So basically it was a baker and a mixologist that came together to pair their two passions. The alcohol is added after the cupcakes are made, and they're mini cupcakes. So you actually technically can get drunk on them, though I've had a ton of them, and it would take a lot, but you do have to be 21 to buy these cupcakes. And they come in flavors like margarita and Pim's Cup and the Bee's Knees. So the third place I am going to recommend is William Barnacle Tavern in the East Village. It is the only place in Manhattan that has the traditional absinthe drip. If you've ever had Bohemian style absinthe, which this bar is known for, they do it very well. You have your absinthe, which will always have 3 ingredients. Wormwood, which is a mild muscle relaxant. It is not a hallucinogenic. Fennel and anise. So anise will give it that kind of licorice flavor, and it will make it a nice digestive for you. Now, they basically light the absinthe, pour the absinthe on a sugar cube, light it on fire, and it's sitting on a spoon. As it's on fire, it's caramelizing that sugar, and then they put it under a drip kind of spout, and you have ice water dripping onto it, dissolving it into the absinthe. The next place I'm going to recommend is the Living Gallery in Bushwick, in my neighborhood again. They do a really fun $10 drink and draw class that includes the booze and art supplies and a model. So you can try your hand at art, whether you're good or not. Everyone is welcome. And there's a few of these types of classes around the city. So even if you Google NYC drink and draw classes, you'll find other ones as well. Is the Noble Experiment. It is a distillery that not a lot of people even know about. And what they do is they make Oni's rum. Now, rum is the original spirit of New York. By the end of the 1700s, there were over 20 rum distilleries in New York, so it's kind of thought of as our first spirit. That's not to say whiskey wasn't made before, but it was the first spirit that really took off here. And they craft their rum in the traditional way, and they use only domestic ingredients, as local as possible. The next place that I will recommend is Rooftop Reds. And they are located in the Brooklyn Navy Yard on the water. So they are the world's first commercially viable rooftop vineyard. Meaning, that's not to say no one's ever planted a few vines on the roof, but they actually kind of do it at a production level that they can bottle and sell it. The next place I'm going to recommend is really unique. I may be saying it wrong, but Maille, M-A-I-L-L-E in Manhattan. They have a mustard sommelier and a mustard tasting bar with over 50 different kinds of mustards. Some of them are really crazy. Some might have kind of candied ginger in them, or thyme, or even wine infused. Sommelier can help you learn how to pair it. The next place I am going to recommend is the Brooklyn Kitchen. And there's tons of places to do cooking classes around New York City. Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, they all have that kind of stuff. The Brooklyn Kitchen, I think, does a great job of offering a really big variety of classes. And some of them are unique, like you can learn how to homebrew. They do cocktail classes, they do couples nights, you can learn how to pickle. So a lot of really useful information that you can take home, and it's really fun. One of the coolest things I've ever done in my life, anywhere in the world, and this is my next recommendation, is a cooking class with the League of Kitchens. Now, this is not your average cooking class. Basically, you go into the home of an immigrant and they will give you a 6-hour workshop showing you their culture, their music, their clothing, and the dishes that they cooked back home and that they brought to New York. So you're supporting local immigrants and you're learning about their culture. It's a great exchange. I did it in Borough Park, Brooklyn, with a woman from Uzbekistan, and I had some of the most delicious food in my life, and I met some wonderful people. It's really small group. I believe we had 6 people. It's a bit pricier at $150. I'm not sure if all the classes are that price. I think they are, but so worth it if you can have that little splurge. My next recommendation is in the West Village, and plenty of guidebooks talk about the West Village, but I recommend staying on Bleecker Street and understanding that it is a great place for free and very cheap tastings. I also like to tell people Little Italy in New York City has pretty much been eaten up by Chinatown, so it doesn't really exist, at least not in an authentic sense. And that's not to say Little Italy has nothing. Oliva Dairy is the first cheese shop in the country. Amazing sandwiches, amazing cheese. Ferrara's Bakery. My grandma and grandpa were from Italy, and they, when they came here, became obsessed with that bakery. So there are some amazing places in Little Italy, but it is kind of a dying neighborhood. Instead, I really love to go to the West Village, Bleecker Street, and right on the edge of Bleecker Street, you'll see Father Demo Square. You can go to Numero 28 Pizza. They do authentic margarita pizza. You can sit outside and you'll have a great view of Our Lady of Pompeii Church, which looks just like a church you would find in Italy. It's beautiful, big, and grand, and you can go inside for free. Once you do that, you can head down Bleecker Street for your free and cheap tastings. And many of these businesses have been open for a long time. So FICO's has been open for about 100 years. They have Dollar Arancinis, and it was started by a Sicilian family. There's places to get free hand massages, free tea at David's Tea. You can go into Murray's Cheese and nibble at some cheese and meats as you try things. It's always nice to buy something if you do the free tastings. Rocco's isn't free, but they have very inexpensive pastries and an insane latte menu that includes things like dulce de leche lattes and vanilla cupcake lattes and things like that. So just wander up that street, pop into all the stores, and you'll spend maybe $10 max and you'll be so full and so happy. The next place I want to recommend is the City Reliquary in Williamsburg. Everyone goes to the Natural History Museum and the Met, and this museum is very overlooked. It's a $5 donation. They have an amazing gift shop in the front with very unique kind of gifts. Even if you don't want to go to the museum, I recommend going and checking out the gift shop. Funny cards and kind of creative housewares and self-tattoos, temporary tattoos. So you walk through this amusement park style turnstile, and it has kind of a weathered feel, and they have the quirkiest historical artifacts, old rat bones, water from different places, and rock from different places in New York. They have a rotting birthday cake that's 6 years old, so just really quirky things. They do all kinds of exhibits on local people and local businesses, such as pizza in New York, and you learn about the different ways people are opening up pizza businesses and the different styles and the history of pizza. Bagels, I've seen exhibits on desserts. So my last tip, number 12, that I am going to leave you with is to do a perfume and wine pairing. Now, I am a certified sommelier, and one thing we learned over and over again in class is that wearing perfume while drinking wine is a no-no. It can affect your senses, your sense of smell, so you're not truly getting the pure characteristics of the wine. Well, there is a company called Kelly & Jones that flips that idea on its head. And what she does is she creates perfumes meant to be paired with wine. Now, there is a boutique in Brooklyn called B. Lindsay that has these perfumes, so you'll go buy the perfumes, and she has a wine bar in there, so you can actually sit and pair your perfume with wine. So hope to hear from you in the comments, and check out my blog, jessieonajourney.com.